Cool. So, testing out a new audio setup. I'm hoping that this works. If not, I might be able to change. I don't know if I could change my audio settings on the fly. We're going to see if not, though. Again, just like last time, so I'm basically just doing this so that I can get some other stuff on here, just so that I have some longer videos, and I think they'll be helpful while I'm in between lessons like this. So I guess I'll find out whether people can hear it or not, because this is a really off time of the day. But basically, I'm going to teach you how to find the chords in any key just on the fly, so you can kind of see how I did this before I really understood any theory a long time ago. So when I was first learning the guitar, obviously, now I taught myself and I learned, the open chords first. Okay, well, then I learned these bar chords, right? The E and the A shape bar chords, right? And I really would play kind of random ones. I didn't know diatonic chords or music theory or anything that's in the key, right? I didn't even know what a key was yet. So this is the way that I did it. When I started to jam with other people, I figured out how to kind of use the circle of fifths to my advantage. I had sort of seen some videos on it, and it was still very confusing to me. I didn't really understand what it meant or how it worked until I could, read music and really understand things. So basically, I'm going to show you how to use that to kind of get yourself to work this out. So if we're looking at the key of G, I'm going to do everything in the key of G. So we're going to start here, G major. Okay, well, I'm just going to briefly go through the chords in the key, and then I'll explain how I find them. Now, I played the 6 chords. I left out the F sharp diminish here, which I'm going to leave out for this video just to make it a little bit easier to understand, something that you're not going to see too often. So, okay, back to G. Well, we're going to build everything off the G major scale. That's how the diatonic chords work, right? So if we're here, G major, we can play a G major scale. We only really need to go up to the 5th right now. So, okay. Well, if we're looking for our major chords, the 1, the 4, and the 5 are the major chords. And I'm sure you've heard these numbers before. You may not exactly know what they mean, but they're just referring to the scale degree. So G major, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 4 is a major chord. Let's build a major chord right above it, right? So we have G, 3rd fret of the E string. 3rd fret of the A string, that's your 4 chord. Awesome. Well, if we want to find the other major chord in the key, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right here. Okay, well, let's build a major chord off of there. D major. So looking for a 1, 4, 5 now. That's it. It's that simple to do this. We have the 1, the 4, and the 5. So doing it on a pattern-based system can make this really easy because we can now move this anywhere on the fretboard. One more time in G. G. Go up 1 string, same fret, right? And then move up 2 frets on the same string. Up a whole step. Okay, so what if we wanted to do this in another key? Okay, well, what if we want to do this in the key of C major? Let's say you want to do it in the key of C major. Someone says, hey, man, we're going to play a 1, 4, 5 in the key C. All right, sure. Well, we can find C, 8th fret, right? We could do the same pattern. It makes it really easy to find the chords that you're looking for. So why don't we find the minor chords in the key as well? We're going to do it in the key of C since that's where we are now, our new tonal center. Okay, perfect. So you probably know this already, but if you don't, finding the relative minor is actually very simple on the guitar, especially when you do it with patterns. So if you're on the key of C here, okay, well, all we have to do is drop down 3 frets. That's it. There's our minor chord. In this case, it's going to be A minor. That would be the 6th minor chord in the key of C major, dropping down 3 frets to get there. Okay, well, if we're looking for the other minor chords in the key of C, well, we can use the exact same pattern we did before. We have A minor here, 5th fret, low E string. So if we do the same thing, we drop down, or move up a string, rather, 5th fret of the A string, build a minor chord off of there, that's D minor. So we're still in the key of C major. We have an A minor and a D minor. That's the 6th chord of A, 6th chord of C, 6 minor, and the 2 chord of C major, right? So if we're looking for the 3 chord, it's the exact same pattern as the majors. You have A minor, go up a string, same thing, D minor, move up a whole step, E minor. So that's your 6 minor, 2 minor, 3 minor in the key of C. So I'm going to play through all those diatonic chords quickly. We'll do, let's do like a 1, 6, 4, 5. It makes it really easy to do this. When you do it on a pattern-based system, you don't have to know any theory at all. You can literally just find the chords as long as you understand the way the patterns work. So I'm going to show you one more way to do this. Let's go back to the key of G major now. We're going to start 3rd fret, low E string. That's our G. Okay, so here's a G major, right? E-shaped G major chord. Well, why don't we play a major scale with a 3-note per string pattern? And you may not know this yet, and that's okay. I'm going to make it really simple. So to play a major scale, we're going to do 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. That's the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd, or G, A, B. And we're going to do 3, 5, 7 on the A string. So that's a G major scale up to the 6th scale degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So we can build the chords off of there. That's another really easy way to do it. You just have to know, and this is the only thing you really have to memorize, is that the 1, the 4, and the 5 are the major chords in a major key, and the 2, the 3, and the 6 are the minor chords. So if you do it that way, well, okay, so G major is 1, A minor is 2, B minor is 3, C major is 4, D major is 5, and E minor is 6. So that's a really easy way to do this as well. That's another really easy way to find the chords. Why don't we shift it into a new key now? I'm going to check this just to see if I can see anything. Okay, cool. So anyone who comes in here, I don't know how the audio is because I can't see it back. I'm trying a new thing today using the Spark with my microphone as well, so you can kind of hear both at the same time. This is my second live on here, and I'm just kind of pushing more stuff and hoping that it gets better each time. But I do want to kind of have these neat little lessons kind of packaged in here. And you can get a feel for how I teach privately as well, so it's cool. Let's go to C major now. Obviously, private I teach a little bit slower, but still. Okay, C major. We're going to do the same thing we did there. So why don't we start here, 8th fret, low E string, okay? We're going to do the same thing, 8, 10, 12, 8, 10, 12 on the E and the A, okay? So that's C, D, E, F, G, A. Or our 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor. So you can find chords very easily by doing this in any key, and you don't really have to know what you're doing. Going back to the beginning, that's what I did when I started. I taught myself, and I really didn't understand keys or really why anything worked. And I think a lot of people, when they're starting out, feel that way if they didn't come from any sort of musical background. You're sort of like just guessing of what chords are going to sound good together. Sometimes you might get lucky. You'll hit a chord that's like not in the key, but theoretically it's a borrowed chord or a modal chord or whatever. And that's a whole nother layer to this. But starting out in a very simple way, if you can do this, well, then you can also start figuring songs out by ear. If you can figure out what key they're in, if it's in the key of G, well, more than likely, if it's any sort of popular song, I mean, yeah, there's exceptions to this rule, obviously, but I would say most songs, general statement, many songs, let's go with that, they use a lot of these diatonic chords, right? It's some sort of chord pattern like this. So some common chord patterns, the 1, 6, 4, 5. So that would be G, E minor, C major, and D major. Right? That's a really common chord pattern, something like that. These are things that you'll find very often, and when you start to get used to them, it can help with your ear training so you can pick things up pretty efficiently. Right? So I did a 1, 6, 5, 4. I sort of switched it up a little bit. Why don't we pick a random pattern and just see what it sounds like? Let's do, I don't know, something that I wouldn't think to do. A 5, 3, 2, 4, right? So it like works because they're in the key, but you kind of lose that tonal center. So you do kind of want to make sure that you establish G somewhere. Now, just because you're in the key of G, and if you analyze songs, even simple songs, you'll notice this. It doesn't always have to start on the 1 chord. Could start on the 4. Right? And now I'm going back to G, but I started on that C major. So this is a really easy way to start understanding music a little bit better. And while it is important to understand the notes and the theory eventually, I don't think that anyone should stress themselves out by doing this, because most of the people that are watching videos like this on YouTube are not professional musicians, and they're doing it for fun, which is a large base of my private students as well. So I think it's important to make this fun when you're practicing it. And the guitar's construction does lend itself to a pattern-based methodology. And that's one of the reasons why the cage system is so popular and does so well for people, because using this grid system with patterns that can be moved around is extremely helpful. That's not something we can say for other instruments, right? We can't just take that pattern, right, and move it around. It just doesn't work that way. They have to at least understand the intervals or the notes that are involved in each key. So let's use the guitar to advantage and use some of these pattern-based systems. It really helped me a lot when I was teaching myself in the beginning, and I've had tremendous success with my private students as well. So that's pretty much it for now. I mean, we don't have a lot of people in here today. This is an off time, and I'm going to start going live probably once or twice a week, just in between my lessons while I'm kind of sitting at my desk anyway. So I hope this video is helpful to whoever sees it in the future. We got a decent amount of views on the last one as well, just later on within a week. So hopefully the audio was okay. If not, I can redo this whole thing. So make sure to subscribe when you see this video. That'll help me out a lot. It'll help me get out to more viewers and just help me get monetized hopefully this year. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Later.